All right, Mr. Chip, we're ready to call your case. So we're on the record in docket 23-03593. That is the City of Lansing versus Brandon Espinosa Gonzalez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And Mr. Chip.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Jeff Chip appearing on behalf of the defendant via Zoom, who I also see appearing via Zoom, and we waive any right or claim to be in person for purposes of today's hearing.
Thank you. And sir, you are Brandon Espinosa Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, this is the time set for a pretrial on the matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the city is asking for an adjournment for 2 weeks for further negotiations.
So we'll give one, is that a fair statement, Mr. Chip?
That is an accurate statement, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll adjourn, this is the last adjournment for 2 weeks. And so we'll set it for
March 5th at 9 a.m.
March
March 5th.
At 9 a.m.
I have actually, Your Honor, I think I have a case set in another court on that date. I don't believe it's going to go.
Okay.
The other case, I don't know if just to be safe, we could do it on the 4th or the 6th, if the court has that availability.
Let's see, we have the 4th's not available. The 12th might be available.
12th.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, 12th.
I can't do it on the 12th because I forgot. I'm at a conference.
Oh.
It's too fast. 1 week would be too fast, I would think.
Yeah.
Let's try the 19th. Does the 19th work?
That's fine by me. I will be, yeah, that's good, actually. I'll be here.
Okay. March 19th at 9. Okay, so we'll set it for March 19th at 9 o'clock.
By Zoom, I take it?
Yes, that can be by Zoom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else for the record in 23-0593, Ms. Williams?
Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Chip.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're all set, Mr. Espinosa Gonzalez. We'll see
Thank
you
you,
on
Your
that
Honor.
March 19th date. Okay.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Mr. Chip.
Thank you.
too. Ms. Sutter, how are you?
I'm well, Your Honor. How are you?
Good. Who's next, Ms. Williams? Docket 23-03217. That's people of the state of Michigan. Oh, I'm sorry, that's City of Lansing versus Taisha Morgan. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Ms. Morgan, who's standing to my right.
And ma'am, you are Taisha Morgan, is that correct? Okay, Thank you. This is the time set for a final pretrial today. Ms. Williams, how we proceed?
Your Honor, seems that my witness has failed to appear today, and I am unable to locate him. I will ask the court to dismiss this case without prejudice, leaving me the chance to reissue the charges once the witness is available.
And the witness was subpoenaed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter.
No objection to the dismissal.
All right, so I'll dismiss without prejudice. Is this on a ticket or a warrant? I can't remember. It's on a warrant. So I'll have the nollie pros or the order of dismissal printed out for you to sign.
I'll sign it.
All right. So, Mrs. Morgan, what we're doing is I'm gonna sign an order of dismissal indicating that people have moved to dismiss without prejudice. What that means is that the people could reissue if they choose to, but for our purposes today, the case is dismissed. All right, ma'am?
Okay,
All right,
thank you. And Your Honor, if I may, once it's all signed, may I get a copy of that for her?
absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, I'm in possession concerning 23-03217 of a dismissal without prejudice. I will sign it, which I have, and you can get a copy from my court officer, all right, ma'am? Thank you. Do you want to go, Mr. Weiss?
You can go ahead, Your Honor.
All right. And that's yours, Ms. Sutter?
It is.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-03709. That is people, the city of Lansing versus Daniel Weiss. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Williams
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
and Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lawrence Sutter on behalf of Mr. Weiss, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Daniel Weiss, and you'll have to unmute yourself.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes,
There you
I
go.
am, Your Honor.
So
I
you
am.
are Daniel Weiss, sir?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial concerning Mr. Weiss. Ms. Williams, how would you like to proceed, or would you like to defer to Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, I sent a communication to the public defender last week about this case, and I have not heard back.
Ms. Sutter.
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Amani, or Ms. Williams did communicate that there are no offers being made in this case. We would be requesting a final pretrial jury trial date.
Okay, final pretrial and jury trial date.
And Your Honor, if I may, for the final pretrial, Mr. Weiss is disabled with severe mobility issues. If it would be at all possible for that.
For the final pretrial by Zoom?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think we can accommodate that.
Thank you.
So the final pretrial date,
March 5th at 8:30.
March 5th at 8:30. And defendant may appear by Zoom. And then jury trial date,
March 19th at 8:15.
March 19th. March 19th at 8:15. All right, so we've set a final pretrial available by Zoom, but March 5th at 8:30 and March 19th at 8:15 for the jury trial. Anything else for the record in 23-03709, Ms. Williams?
Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
Right, you're all set, Mr. Weiss. We'll see you by Zoom on that March 5th date.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Ms. Bradley, we'll call your case as soon as Ms. Sutter gets out of a room with Ms. Smith. My understanding is we're getting a substitution of counsel on your case. Is that correct, Ms. Bradley?
Yes, yep, we were supposed to, but I never got contacted by anybody.
All right, good. The public defender is as an indication that that we're receiving a substitution of counsel. And so we'll probably just adjourn for a new date on that case. But I'll call that case in just a second.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Sutter, did you want to meet with Ms. Smith? Oh, you're on mute. You're muted.
I apologize, Your Honor. Yes, I was in the breakout room and I didn't see anyone joining me.
All right, let's put you back to room 1.
Thank
And
you.
Ms. Smith is in room 1. You're welcome.
Perfect, thanks.
All right, Ms. Bradley, we'll call your case. So we're on the record in 23-01760. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Sarah Ann Bradley. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Williams,
Morning, Your Honor, Assistant City Attorney Amanda Williams appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Bradley for today's hearing only.
And ma'am, you are Sarah Ann Bradley, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can hear me all right, Ms. Bradley?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. So my understanding, Ms. Williams, and then allow both attorneys to make a record that Ms. Bradley, we adjourned last time for conflict counsel because this is a co-defendant case,
That's correct.
if I'm correct. And Mr. Carter's to file an appearance. If he hasn't already, he's going to file one in the next day or so. Is that your understanding?
That's my understanding, Your Honor,
Miss-
correct.
Ms. Sutter.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll adjourn this matter for counsel. And that's Carter.
And just make sure, Your Honor, will notice be sent directly to him as well, so he's aware of this.
Yes. Once we get
Once he gets
his,
appearance, yes.
yeah, once we get his appearance, he'll get all of to file an appearance. So, Ms. Bradley, you'll receive notice of this at your last known address for us, which is still the State Road. Is that still a good notice address for you?
No, it's not.
Let me get a new, is it the Georgetown address?
Correct. Yep.
All right, we have that.
Okay.
Yep. You'll receive, so that's the updated address. You'll receive notice of that, and then once we get Mr. Carter's appearance, he'll get notice of the next date. All right, ma'am?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, hold on, and I'll give you the date.
Okay.
So the date of the next pretrial will be
March 5th at 9 a.m.
March 5th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So it'll be March 5th at 9 a.m. We'll see you on that pretrial date. Anything else for the record in docket 23-01760, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further.
All right, we're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
Hello?
All right, Ms. Sutter, did you want to speak with Ms. Guevara or are you all set with
Ms.
Ms.
Guevara,
Smith?
Ms. Guevara, please,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right, so I'm going to put you and Ms. Guevara in room one. You can go back to room one.
Thank you.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00232 and the accompanying ticket of 24L28196672. That's City of Lansing versus Marcy Guevara. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Williams
Morning, Your Honor, Assistant City Attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
and Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Guevara, who joins us via Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Marcy Guevara, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Ms. Guevara?
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I defer to the public defender.
Ms. Sutter.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we would be requesting an adjournment for Ms. Guevara to try and reach compliance with her license. We'd be seeking 45 days if possible.
All right, so this is a request for an adjournment for compliance purposes, approximately 5 weeks out. Any objection, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
So set it for March 26th.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Ms. Guevara, please stay in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter, and she'll make sure the city's attorney's office gets any paperwork they need for compliance purposes. We've set this for March 26th at 9 o'clock. This is the first pretrial date I can see.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yeah. So we'll see you again on March 26th at 9 o'clock. All right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Anything else for the record in 24-00232 or the accompanying ticket, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank
Ms.
you.
Sutter,
Nothing further.
thank you. And you should be all set, Ms. Guevara.
Thank you.
Ms. Snyder Powder, you're here on the two Wasbury cases?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so I'll call those at 10:15. I've got, those are both failed to appear as previously, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll call those at 10:15.
Mr. Harrison is here in person.
Oh, is he here? Okay, so I can call one of them now. One of them's here in person. Mr. Harrison, are you here? You can come on up here. Yeah, that's right. No, you can have a seat right there. 9, 2, 3, 4, 9, 6. All right. So I think we'll have to reschedule for pretrial. So we're on the record in docket 23-03496. That's VTP Capital Village versus Lyle Harrison. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Snyder Powder.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Snyder Powder on behalf of Mark Wasbury, 82554 is my P number. We represent plaintiff.
And sir, you are Lyle Harrison, is that correct? All right. This is the time set for a hearing for non-payment. It was set for second hearing because there was a fail to appear at the first hearing on February 7th, 2024. Ms. Harrison has appeared in person today. So what Ms. Snyder Powder, what we usually do in this situation is probably reset it for a pretrial, since he should have legal services available to meet with if need be. And we would set it for just as soon as we'd make a pretrial slot available for him. Because at this time, you missed whatever you defaulted on your pretrial. Ms. Snyder Powder, how would you like to proceed?
Are you saying we're going to set it for a hearing, like a formal hearing?
Well, I'd like if Mr. Harrison wants to, you should have the option to meet with pretrial services or go through the pretrial process, because we've never done that with him. We went right to second hearing pursuant to the administrative order. And I think that's to catch things like this, where somebody doesn't get defaulted at the second hearing. But of course, we'll have to expedite this since the pretrial was set for February 7th, and then we set this pretty quickly, February 20th. But Mr. Harrison was not here at the first hearing, so I think that he's not had any type of rights pursuant to this matter.
I guess I just assumed that he would get that today, Your Honor. I was a little confused. I thought this was the second trial.
It's the second hearing, but we don't have legal services here, or else we put it on. What we usually do is we usually take the defaults, and if they don't show up the first time, we set the defaults for as fast as we can. For instance, you have another one here for Ms. Turner.
Yeah.
And there's some question, is Ms. Turner is going to show up today?
Right.
90% of the time, if they miss the first pretrial, they also miss the second hearing.
Right.
But Mr. Harrison is here for the second hearing. So I do think that Mr. Harrison, so we put this on a date where legal services is not available. They probably won't be available till, how soon could we set this?
I can set it for March 6th at 10:45.
We can set it for March 6th at 10:45.
And then he'd be getting legal services at that time?
Yes, he'd go through the pretrial process.
Okay, and then we'd set it for a hearing after that?
Then it'd be set for a hearing after that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Harrison, you understand what we've been talking about here?
Kind of.
Okay, I know you missed the first pretrial. So we set this for second hearing under the administrative order. And then you've shown up today, and so you still get all your rights under the pretrial as far as the court's concerned. So we're setting that hearing, and so you can meet with legal services if you choose to. That you could meet with Miss. I don't know if Miss Snyder Powder is going to be here for the Wasbury firm, but you could meet with her concerning these events if you choose to. But you should have those options available to you. And those options are only available on a Wednesday because that's when legal services is here and that's when everybody's here on a Wednesday. All right, so I'm gonna set it for that date. We're gonna give you notice of that, okay? So we'll set for pretrial. I'm gonna indicate that everyone appeared. Mr. Harrison appeared. We'll set for March 6th at 9:45.
10:45.
At 10:45. So we're
Thank you.
rescheduling that pretrial date. If you missed that date, we're just gonna set it for hearing again, okay? Well, similar to this, okay? But that means you've missed 2 of those, and so you're running out of options at that point. But March 6th at 10:45. Either way, I think if Miss Snyder Powder, he asked if he could show up on Zoom. Either way, because it's probably easier to put you, if you choose to speak with Miss Snyder Powder, it's easier to put you in a breakout room if you're on Zoom. It's completely up to you, though. If this is easier, we can have you connect. We can put you on an iPad and have you meet with her. So whichever's easiest, just get here on March 6th is important. Okay, Miss Snyder Powder, any questions concerning the second? Now we're going with the first pretrial, which is set for March 6th at 10:45.
No, no questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so you should get, you've got notice. I'll see you on March 6th at 10:45, okay? Smith. Are we ready on Ms. Smith, Ms. Williams?
I'd like to adjourn, Your Honor. It's going to be longer to verify the information.
All right, Ms. Sutter, you can come up
We
here.
can adjourn it for 1 week. I don't like to hold the court.
So you have not received the information.
I have received the information, but I need to verify the information.
Oh, you have to confirm it.
Yes.
That makes sense. All right, Ms. Smith, we'll call your case. So we're on the record in docket 23-03707. That is City of Lansing versus Kenesha Smith. The parties, please introduce themselves to the record. Ms. Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And ma'am, Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Smith, who joins us via Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Kenesha Smith, is that correct? You'll have to unmute.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, sir.
All right, and Ms. Smith, you can hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. We adjourned it previously because of compliance purposes. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I would like to ask for an adjournment for 1 week only. I'm trying to verify the community service hours that I received from Ms. Smith. 1 week should be sufficient.
Ms. Sutter.
No objection.
All right. I think that's a reasonable request. A 1 week adjournment for compliant. And Ms. Smith, it appears that all your paperwork's in. They just want to confirm your compliance. All right, ma'am?
Okay.
Okay. So we'll adjourn it for 1 week.
February 27th at 9.
February 27th at 9:30. At 9:30. So we've set it for to confirm your hours and documentation for February 27th at 9:30. Ms. Smith, you should receive notice well, I don't know if the notice will get there in time, but in order for convenience purposes, this is your notice for next week at 9:30. It'll also be sent to that Marquette address. Is that still a good address for you, ma'am?
Yes, and I have a question. What is because I'm kind of like lost. What is the week for?
In order to confirm the documentation that you provided.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to call Ms. Brown and confirm those hours you sent over.
Okay.
All right. So anything else? So that once they get the confirmation for the compliance purposes, we'll readdress this on February 27th at 9:30. All right, ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for the record? 2303-707, Ms. Williams.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter.
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, Ms. Smith. I'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good rest of your week.
You too. Good to see you, Mr. Cornish. You, Judge. Ms. Williams, I think that. And Mr. Asfock, you're here for Mr. Freeman.
Good morning, Judge. I am.
All right. I also have Mr. Ben here on that case. So I'll go ahead and call that case. So we're on the record in docket 23-03482, Woodbridge Apartments versus Byron Ben. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Asfock.
Christopher Asphalt, 53129 on behalf of the plaintiff.
And sir, you are Byron Ben, is that correct?
Yes.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Ben?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for a second hearing. Mr. Ben missed the first pretrial hearing on February 7th, so we've set it for second hearing pursuant to the administrative order. And now Mr. Ben is here, Mr. Asfock. So there's two ways to proceed. One way is Mr. Ben should be given because I can play him. Well, he's got to meet with legal services. We've got to go through the and that's usually Wednesdays mornings or when we have legal services here. And he's missed that opportunity. So I can reset this for a immediate pretrial as soon as we have. I can also, Mr. Asfock, I guess I can always, if Mr. Ben's amenable, I can always allow you to meet with him if you'd like to. This rarely happens. So that somebody shows up at the second, but actually this is the second case today where somebody showed up after we've set it for the second hearing. So Mr. Asfock, how would you like to proceed?
I mean, I'd like to meet with them in a breakout room if possible.
All right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that for the other case. Mr. Ben, here's your two options. We don't have legal services here because we had them here at the pretrial and we set this for a second hearing concerning because there was a fail to appear the first hearing. Mr. Asfock is amenable to meeting with you. I probably should play you a video so that we have some of your rights looked at in this matter. I didn't even think about just treating this like a pretrial, but I can do that. And then we can go ahead and have you meet with Mr. Asfock if you're amenable to that. Mr. Ben, how do you want to proceed today, given the fact that legal services is not here, but I can still cover some of your constitutional rights, well, some of your rights that you have in this case. They're not constitutional rights, but there's some of the rights you have in this landlord-tenant matter.
Is there a way that I can speak with legal services and speak to him?
You can't speak with legal services until we set this on March 6th, I would assume.
Okay.
Because they're not here. You could call them on your behalf and talk to them, but this isn't the date that this is a date for a hearing date. You've never talked to legal services, which was here on the February 7th date because you failed to appear. We just set this for a second hearing date.
Okay.
So let me do this. Let me play the video for you. And then if you're amenable, you can speak with Mr. Asfock after that. And then you can tell me how you want to proceed. If you want to meet with legal services, we can make that we can stick it in March 6th as another pretrial date so that you can meet with them.
Okay.
All right. Let me play you the video. Get a pen or pencil available to write down any dates you might need. Share. So I'm gonna play this video for you, and then if you'd like, I'm gonna put you in I can put you in a room with Mr. Asfak, who and the property manager from Woodbridge Apartments, okay?
Okay.
Welcome to the 54A District Court. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available to assist you. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available to assist you.
All right, let's start that again. Why is it playing it 3 times? I'm only sharing, I'll share media player there. Let's try that. I'm only sharing, I'll share media player there. Let's try that. Is that the Zoom? Oh, maybe it's just Zoom's, I'll share media player there. Let's try that. Is that the Zoom? Oh, maybe it's just Zoom's, I'll share media player there. Let's try that. Is that the Zoom?